Welcome to Who Let the Dogs Out, the podcast designed to help you enjoy life with your best friend without all the frustrations. Join us each week as we help families across the country do just that. I'm your host, Corey, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Sally.
And Sally, give me a brief. What are we talking about today?
We are looking at barking at other dogs.
Okay, barking at other dogs.
Separation issues. And which side should you walk your dog on?
All right, so barking at other dogs, separation issues, and which side should you walk your dog on? So if you want to learn more about that, there's a pretty common questions we get asked all the time. So if you want to learn more about that, stick with us till the end of the show. And for those of you that don't know us, I'm Corey. I'm the founder of Wonder Dog Training, and we've been in business got almost 7 years now, and we've helped thousands of dogs, thousands of families over the year. And my co-host is...
Well, I'm Sally, and I'm part of the administration, so I do lots of phone calls and background things. So keep things running.
She's kind of underplaying it. She basically keeps the whole organization running. So anyways, that's who we are for those that don't know. Today's show is a Q&A. Those are really fun because you guys write in the questions and we give you the answers. So if you want to write in questions to us and have a question answered here on the show, you can do that by emailing
Sally@wonderdogtraining.com.
Or you can reach me at Corey from Wonder Dog on Instagram, or you can leave a comment on whichever platform that you're on. So whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, it doesn't really matter. You can leave a comment anywhere and we'll see it. We'll answer it on the show. So just ask your questions and tell us you want to enter it on the podcast and we'll do that. We've also got another big format that we do a lot, which is Dog Talk, which is where we come on and we talk about a topic related to dogs, dog ownership, dog training, different things like that. And so if you want a topic discussed as well or broken down, into like little, bite-sized pieces, you can submit a topic as well in those same manners. So,
and we do some fun things as well when we did the myths, debunking the myths.
I guess that was technically a dog talk though, but that was a fun episode. That was our last episode. We debunked all the common dog myths.
We did.
And that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. There were some that I was just like, I don't really know about that. Yeah. And then we talked about AI and robot dogs and stuff like that. So anyways, it was an interesting episode. It was a lot of fun.
Fun stuff.
Got a couple interviews. We put up one interview so far. So we're going to be doing interviews and debates and different things as we keep growing the show. And we did gain some new subscribers since the last episode. Yeah, I think this is our biggest week of growth outside of the first week. So pretty cool. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Soon enough, we'll actually have a visual tracking our growth that I think we have it here in the building. We just didn't color it or fill it out. But anyways, we'll have something to kind of track that and maybe like an end of the year goal or something or beginning of the year goal or something like that.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
Yep. Anyways, that's pretty much it in terms of like formats and stuff like that. Before we actually jump into the show, I just wanted to say if you get any value out of the show, you learn something, please share the show. If you have a friend or a family member or colleague or work associate, whatever it is that struggles with issues like these with their dog, we just ask that you guys would share the show just because that, one, it means a lot to us, but two, it helps us get good quality dog training information out to people and it's, no cost. You get to listen for free and it's stuff I would tell clients if they were paying us. So
absolutely.
Anyways, I guess it's kind of the regular intro. So, you want to tell the story about taking Sully for a walk?
No, I don't. Don't want to share that story with anyone.
So for those of you that don't know, I bought Sally a puppy for Christmas last year. And he's the best. He's the best puppy. His name's Sully. He's an English cream golden retriever. And anyways.
He's now one.
Yeah, he was
one on the 22nd.
Yeah. A few days later. Yeah. Anyway, so he just had his big 1-year-old birthday, which is awesome. He's huge for 1-year-old. But anyways, we've been training him over, the last year, pretty much since she got him. And overall, it's been going really good, a lot of fun. And we've made a bunch of videos out of it. Haven't posted any, but we've been training him and it's been going really good. Anyways.
Going extremely well when trainer man's around.
Right. So, every day at the end of the workday, me and Sally get on the phone and, chat about the workday and stuff. And then, normally by that point, she's on a walk with Sully or whatnot by the time I'm getting off work. And so I'm asking, hey, how's it going? And then I'm, how's the walk going? All that kind of stuff. Some days are good. Some days are really bad.
Well, we had a bad day that day.
Yeah.
One of the days when I was like, I'm just being taken out for a drag.
Yeah.
Yes.
And pulling real hard and stuff.
And it's not enjoyable. And
I was like, man, we got to fix that. So set up to go over there a few days later or whatnot. It was a Sunday. And so we go on a walk. I brought Mia with me. And so, and that's my dog. And so we're walking and stuff like that. And we get out.
We weren't walking, let me tell you. We'd literally got leashed up and we took about, 5 paces. And Sully, all of a sudden, was like student of the blooming year and didn't pull at all. And normally he would have started pulling from the get-go.
Yeah. Sounds like he's trained to me.
So because trainer man was stood next to him, it was like, oh, look at me, Corey. Look at me being a good boy, prancing. What did you say he looked like?
One of the Budweiser horses.
Clydesdale,
Yeah,
you
one
did.
Of the Clydesdale horses.
He looked like, and he was little paws were coming up. And he's like, look at me, trainer man. I'm like, Corey's like, I think you're making it up. I was like, don't talk to me. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, that happened. Another funny thing that happened on that walk is Mia pooped in somebody's front yard and I didn't have a bag.
She did.
Which I think we all kind of do the same thing in those situations because like that's happened to me a number of times.
Yeah.
Like over the years, I'll be taking a client's dog out for a walk and like my treat bag has a poop bag on it. But, you know, sometimes I'll be out and then the dog poops and you're just kind of standing around like, oh my God, what do you do? And so then, you know, if it's like a couple, somebody will be like, hey, y'all stand here and I'll run home and go grab a bag. And, you know, anyways. But if you're walking the dog and like you're just by yourself and you don't have a bag, it's like, what do you do?
What do you do?
My go-to is always bend over, pretend like I'm picking it up, and then just walk away. Honestly, I mean that's it. I normally, I feel so bad, but I can't just let the dog poop in somebody's front yard and not do anything about it. I guess I don't do any. I guess I'm not doing anything about it, but I can't pretend like I'm not at least trying to do something.
Yeah.
Rip up some grass.
Well,
and
I was
throw some grass on it or put some leaves over it or something like that. What do you do if your dog poops and you don't have a bag on a walk? What do you do in that situation? Because like some people get really upset about it. Like I've heard stories before of people that have like Ring cameras on their house or whatnot, and they'll like post a video of it and like Facebook.
Shame you.
Now, to be fair, that would be like your dog pooping and you just walking off, like letting it happen or whatnot. But you know, people get really upset about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get really upset about that.
When you crouched down, though, I actually thought you was going to pick it up in your hand and
Not
move
a chance.
it.
Not a chance.
No, and I was a bit shocked as well, thinking, is that really what he's going to do?
Man, Corey's such a good guy. He's picking up
Such
poop
a good
with his
guy.
bare
Yeah,
hands
he's going to
try
pick it all up. But no, we just did pretending.
Yeah, no, just to pretend.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you do if your dog poops on a
Yeah.
walk and you don't have a bag? How do you fake pick it up? Do you just, because it's really awkward because like you got to wait there for, 10, 15, 30 seconds, however long it takes your dog to poop or whatnot. You got to wait there and just stand by them, while they're doing it.
It's just like
you're
stand
wondering, is
there
anybody
like
watching, looking out their
deer
windows
in
at me,
headlights,
so-
like, no.
Yeah, no, it's the
Yeah.
worst. It's the worst.
Yeah. Sully did it yesterday, actually, not on somebody's yard, but actually on the road. And I was like,
Do you remember the time?
I better go. But I took him home,
yeah.
left him home, got my pooper scooper, scooted all the way back and went and picked it up.
Get back. You can't walk by the cords, man.
What, can I remember the day? What?
Oh, sorry. Mia was walking, trying to go tear down the cords, and can't let her do that. I was gonna ask. Whenever we did the Germantown Christmas parade, and we.
Oh my gosh!
Molly was just pooping while she's walking.
But she got real bad diarrhea.
She had terrible diarrhea, and
and
so she's just pooping while she's walking. And there's just poop everywhere in the and there's a line of cars behind us. The Boy Scouts.
We've got marching bands coming up, and it's like,
And so we're trying to, stop and pick up diarrhea off of the pavement
Which
in a
is
bag,
not
which didn't
easy.
happen. And so the others just poop.
It was, yeah.
Oh my God. And so all the cars are stopped and everything like that. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. They say they don't work with dogs and children.
Yeah. That was, anyways, that was funny.
But
All right.
it was funny. It was funny.
It was. Anyways, I guess it's time to jump into some questions. So let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. And then partway through, near the end, I've got some jokes. So, first question. My dog barks at other dogs when we're out.
Okay.
And now my new dog is starting to do it too. Should I walk them separately so it doesn't get worse?
Let me repeat it back. So basically, she's got a new dog, but her first dog that she has is barking at other dogs or people?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the new dog's starting to pick up on that too, Yeah, we actually just had a client that finished their training program not too long ago, and their older dog barked at other dogs and people and stuff like that, and they didn't want the new dog picking up on it because this dog's gonna be way bigger than the first one was. So what I would probably say is like I am walking, them separately takes a lot longer and it's not ideal. But what I would probably do is I'd probably start working on like the reactivity first and foremost with the first dog and get that knocked down, and pretty much like tamped out and then are done. And then I would then jump into training this. I would then start training the second dog or whatnot. And then on the walks with the second dog, I'd start asking not asking, but rather working on any reactivity that dog is exhibiting, maybe without the first dog, just to see if it's there. Is it only around when the first dog's around, or is it happening whenever the other dog's not around? And kind of figure that out. And if there's a problem there, fix that, and then take both dogs back out together. And then we just did an episode, I think, on reactivity a while back. There's been a handful that we've done on like reactive to different things or whatnot, and we break down quite a bit in that episode about how to like fix reactivity like step by step. And we've got one episode called aggression versus reactivity and talk about it step by step. And then we did a recent one where I was like barking at like wheels or things on wheels or trucks and stuff like that. So that you could apply that same concept to like humans and stuff like that. So I would say go listen to those episodes and start applying those training principles or whatnot. But yeah, I'd definitely go individual first and foremost. I'd go individual first, like walk them separately first and foremost, start working on the reactivity, addressing that, and then I'd combine them back together once they're doing good. I'd combine them back together once they're doing good. That'd probably be how I'd go about it.
Yeah. I must admit, because Lenny's a little on the reactive side, but his barking up and down the fence, Sully does copy. Not to the same extent that Lenny does, but if Lenny's not outside performing up and down the fence, it doesn't bother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talk on the reactivity episode that it's, normally like on a leash or behind a barrier or something like that. So, I mean, them barking at the fence makes a lot of sense. I would say, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. This is an unusual, is it unusual? But it's unusual how the people are handling this. So here we go. My dog hates us leaving the house. He cries and whines and barks. So we sneak out another door. Will he just get used to us and being separated from him?
So the dog doesn't like being left alone and cries and whines and barks and stuff whenever they leave.
And I think they go through the normal, like feeling guilty and trying not to upset him, but sneak out of another door. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think you should like have to sneak out of your own house to like, get around the dog or whatnot. Trying to think of where I'd go from here because there's a bunch of different stuff I could say. If your dog doesn't like, I mean, I guess my first question is like, how are you sneaking out? Like, are you putting them in like a crate or a laundry room or like a bedroom or something like that, and like leaving them in there and then leaving the house or something like that? Or is like, somebody entertaining the dog while one person's sneaking out and then they like toss a treat or something and run out the door. I don't really know how they're actually sneaking out.
There's not a lot of detail on.
But I guess my follow-up would then be like, how do you know that the dog is like, maybe he doesn't want you leaving, but then as soon as you leave, he goes to sleep, or whatnot. Maybe he whines and cries for a little bit and then he goes to sleep right after they're gone. You just don't really know. So I think I'd probably need a little bit more detail to like give a better answer. But I'd probably say a lot of times we have clients that'll like watch their dogs on they're like, whether it be their indoor security cameras or like a doggy camera or something like that, and so if they put their dog in the crate and then the dog's like crying and whining in the crate whenever they're gone, they just are gone feeling bad the whole time, like watching the dog in the crate and stuff. Which I'm not really a huge fan of. I don't mind. I don't think doggy cameras or indoor security cameras are necessarily a problem. However, I don't think you should be like leaving and then just sitting there watching your dog on your phone the whole time while you're at work or out and about and stuff like that. I just don't think that's productive for you or the dog. It makes you feel bad. Like,
because you've got to leave them, haven't you? It's
just part of life. Yeah. I will say that, a lot of times though, like dogs, once you put them up, they might not like being put up initially and they like might bark or cry or whine or something. But a lot of times they normally just go to sleep right after. Yeah. I mean, they'll fit for a little bit and then they realize, all right, well, they're not coming back right now. I've got to get used to this. And then next thing you know, they're they settle down, they go to sleep,
Yeah.
they're fine.
Yeah.
So I would probably say just, if you have to worry about like the dog bolting out the door, like whenever you're walking out the door, I'd probably say like practice like door manners or something like that. I'd say, address door manners or practice with door manners or something. But for the most part, I'd just say leave and then do your business and come home. And when you come home,
be assertive.
Yeah.
Because the dog will pick up on all of that energy anyway, won't they? Mm-hmm. If you're hesitant leaving, they're already heightening, aren't they? Like, oh, what's anticipating?
Yeah. I guess one thing I wanted to bring, this is kind of a good segue, but this is something that I was talking about with a client a while, within the last like couple of weeks or whatnot, a lady I was doing a transformation session with, and it brings up a larger point, which is like, because you were talking about, well, if you're heightened before you're leaving, and then it creates this big ordeal whenever you actually leave the house and stuff. I wanted to, I guess, just touch on like how behaviors grow over time or whatnot, because one of our clients that had signed up with us was mentioning to me that her dog doesn't like it when she yells at him. Like if she has to like get onto him or whatnot, like he feels really bad, and like he puts his head down and like comes up to her and like feels like really like, I think she said like ashamed or something like that whenever she yells at him and stuff. And I was just, and there were a couple other things that the same principle applied to, particularly with this one woman. But what I explained to her is like how behaviors will grow over time or whatnot, and like how we as humans accidentally reinforce behaviors that we don't really intentionally mean to reinforce. And so just using the yelling example or this example, I'll just start with the yelling thing first. But like if you, I don't know, your dog's jumping on the counter eating food or something like that, right? Yeah. And then you yell at your dog, you yell no, and then they feel bad. And then you feel bad because they feel bad. And so then you like, oh man, I'm sorry, come here, and you're hugging on them and petting on them and stuff like that. Then that's adding a positive to the negative feeling that they feel, which reinforces the likelihood that the next time you yell at the dog, he's going to feel bad, right? And like gonna, put on the drama works to make sure that, you know that he feels bad, because he knows that if he does that, you're going to give him positive attention, right? Which is going to then reinforce the likelihood. And so you just get into this cycle. And so what I was explaining to this lady is, if your dog does something bad and you have to like verbally correct them and yell no or stop or leave it or whatever the thing is, not yell necessarily, but like just give them like a sterner verse or yell,
maybe
whatever.
A little raised voice.
Yeah, whatever the verbal correction is.
Yeah.
Once it's done, move on to the next thing. Like don't sit there and like sulk with your dog that like you had to yell at him for something bad they were doing, because then that's just once again it's gonna be like this feedback loop from hell where you yell at the dog feels bad, you feel bad, you reinforce dog, and so it's just gonna keep spiraling where it gets worse and worse over time. And so like using this example here with this question, like if you know that the dog like feels bad when you leave and gets anxious when you leave and stuff like that, you're gonna, I'm just assuming but like a lot of people will be like, before they start leaving, they'll start saying to the dog like, oh, you're gonna have to stay here, you're gonna have to stay here, and just they'll start putting, they're starting to put vibes into the air, energy into the air that the dog's gonna pick up on, and then every time they're gonna start pairing that with like with you leaving the house, and so then they're going to start getting anxious because they're like, hey, they're saying these weird words, like I'm going to have to, you're going to have to stay by yourself or something, like whatever the situation is, right? Yeah. And so it just starts making this big thing out of nothing. Like you could just walk out of the house and just lock the door and leave. Like you don't have to say anything, you don't have to do anything. You could just leave the house, But if you make this big thing, it's going to be a big thing, right? Yeah. And that sounds really simple, but it is really simple, And so like we can unintentionally create behaviors or grow behaviors that started out as like a really small thing and grow it into this really big thing without like intentionally doing this. Like you see people with like scared dogs do this all the time too. The other day I was at a lady's house doing a transformation session, and like she was asking me to help like fit a harness to this dog. She had like this like little cute harness thing. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So the dog was great. He was really friendly with me and stuff. But at this point, I'm across the room. She's on the couch and the dog is sitting right next to her. So I walk up to the dog and I'm like looking at him. He's looking at me, and I could tell like he's probably not going to want me to reach for him while he's sitting right next to his mom's legs, right? And he'd been really friendly up to this point. Yeah. Anyways, I'm like, against my better judgment, I reach over to like grab his collar to kind of pull him to me a little bit, and he nips at my hand, and I pull my hand away, and I'm like, hey, bad, don't do that. I told him no, stop, whatever it was. And then I'm like, but what she did, and this was not intentional by any means, but what she did was she reached down to pet him and say, hey, it's okay. Like you don't need to snap at him, right? And I'm like, and I told her, I was like, no, take your hands off of him. Like, don't pet him right now because he just, tried to bite me. Not bite me. It was a little snap. Yeah. But I'm like, no, don't pet them right now, because if you pet them right now, you're giving them a positive for doing a bad behavior, which is like nipping at a person, like a guest in your house, right? And so, anyways, I put a leash on him and got the harness fitted to him, and everything was fine. But that you just using that example, it's like we can accidentally create behaviors that we don't mean to create, but accidentally do by adding a positive to a negative behavior, which reinforces the likelihood that the behavior is going to keep happening over and over again. And so it just creates this big cycle. And so I'd say, find your own example of like maybe how you're doing this with your own dog in your own life, and then stop doing that,
We do. I'm not, sounds very sexist, this comment, but I wonder if it's more females than males that do like the projecting of like human thoughts and feelings onto their dogs. Because I mean, both of the examples I just gave you are women, but if I thought long and hard enough about it, I could probably find. No, I'm sure there's going to be some out there as well. But I'm just thinking, I do the bye, see you later, won't be long,
which like is not in itself a problem.
No, but it's
only a problem if it's a problem.
Yeah, but we don't have to do that at all, though, do we?
Mia thinks care. Yeah, Mia thinks she's going with me every time. I grab my stuff.
Yeah,
like I mean, she's with me all the time.
Yeah.
But if I'm going somewhere like to work, to an appointment or a client's house or something like that, and she can't come, I'll tell her before I get ready, like, hey, you're gonna have to stay here, and she knows that means, all right, stop jumping around while he's putting his pants and shirt on and stuff like that, because I'm not going, right? I'll start doing it because she'll get excited because she sees me like getting dressed and grabbing keys and stuff. And I'll start telling her way beforehand, no, you got to stay here. She knows that just means, hey, go lay down. I'm not going this time, right? Not a problem. But if she started being anxious or barking or crying or like trying to, go out the door with me or something like that, I would say I would not be doing that. I would just walk out of the house or something like that. Or I'd put her in the crate, way before I was actually leaving the house or something, whatever the thing is, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a problem to tell your dog goodbye. It's only a problem if it becomes this huge thing where you're sneaking out of your house. That's what I'm saying. It's like, look for those behaviors beforehand.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this week, actually, related, like different, but related, I guess. Mia is like so in tune with like the morning routine with me. It's hilarious because my general routine, at least recently, is like I wake up and take her on she's in the room, so I'm just gonna say it, walk. I was gonna spell it, but but she's so in tune with the routine. So I get up, I get the coffee going, and then start making all my supplements or whatnot. And I use a pour over for the coffee, so I grind the beans, put the beans in the thing, and then by that point I've already taken all my supplements and stuff. And so then I'm pouring the water in the coffee. The last step though is once it's made, empty out the coffee beans, wash the thing out, and then I pour it into a big Yeti mug, and then I'm, the next step is like walk out the door, right? Put all my stuff in my pockets and leave so we can go to the place where we go walking and go walk. And so and she'll be laying down the whole time, just watching me in the kitchen and stuff. As soon as I grab the Yeti and set it on the counter to pour the thing, she stands up and like runs over to like right in front of the counter, and she's like, all right, let's do it. And
she's like, you're done.
Yeah. It's so funny how like, I just noticed that this week though, like, but how in tune she is. Cause as soon as I pick up the cup and pour it, she's like, all right, that's the last step. We're good. We're going now. And it's really funny.
So smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed some other little like interesting things too, like walking her. I've talked a few episodes back about how like I changed my mind on like flexible leashes and stuff, or like the forget what they're called, retractable leashes. Yeah. And like I think the one we have is like 16 feet or whatnot. One thing that she's learned, and I've only been using it a few weeks now, but one thing she's learned on it is like, I guess the length of it, because she'll stop to smell something and I'll keep walking. Never gets to the end of the retractable leash. Like pretty much never, every now and then, but like pretty much never gets to the end. Like as soon as it's about to hit the end, she starts walking and catches up without me having to pull on it or it getting to the end, or like, cause normally it'll like, go all the way out and then it'll like tug the dog and the dog starts walking with you again.
Yeah.
Never gets to the end pretty much ever. As soon as it's about to run out of room, she'll start walking and catch up. Or if she's walking out ahead of me or whatnot, she literally will go like right almost to the end of it and then just stay there. She just doesn't get to the end. It's really impressive like how smart she is.
Yeah.
And like anyways, there's a couple little things I noticed this week that were routine based.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I like, it's not routine based, but I like whenever you stop doing something, she fetches you a ball as though she needs to fill that empty space in your life.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's like, Can't let him be bored.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's not got anything to do.
Yeah. The other funny one too is like working here at the building. You know, I'm up here a lot by myself, and as soon as I stand up and I grab my laptop off the table, jumps up, runs over to the backpack that I'm about to put it in. She's like, all right, I guess that's the cue. We're about to leave. She's just super, I mean, you know, that's nothing like super impressive. It's just like catching onto my routines, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
she's smarty pants.
Well, we've done a couple questions. Okay. Let's insert a segment. You've got a couple jokes, and then I sent you a funny dog stuff we found from the internet. I can't use my phone, or I'll just read it to you because we're doing the video on my phone. So hand me.
Which do you want to do first? Do you want to do
how many jokes do you have?
2.
All right, go with a joke first.
Okay.
This is a Sally joke. Here we go. Hit it.
This is because it's Halloween next week.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So, here we go.
Let's do it.
Which dog breed does Dracula love the most? So
which dog breed does Dracula love the most?
Yeah.
Bloodhounds.
Dude.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Come on. That's decent.
Dude. Oh my gosh. Okay, I've got one more.
Go ahead.
One more, everyone. How did the little dog feel when he saw a monster?
Scared.
Terrified. That's a good one.
Terrified. That's good. That is
terrified.
Funny. Stupid, but funny.
It is. Well.
All right. Open our text thread. Let me see it. So this is a funny. So we I think it was 3 or 4 shows back, but we did a new segment called "Funny Dog Stuff" we found on the internet, and
you found one, have you?
Yeah. And so, but last time me and Sally had read it before, so this is Sally's first time hearing it. I thought it was hilarious though.
Okay, here we go.
So this is titled "My Dog's Friend is an Ass." So here it goes. I'm watching my friend's dog this weekend. We all live together, and it was cold last night, so I had the window open. He usually sleeps in a crate, but since I'm home alone, I let him sleep in the room with me. This MFer heard a lady walking her dogs, jumped on my bed and through my window screen. And of course I had no top on, just socks. So who sleeps in socks, by the way? So I'm panicking, looking for my jacket. Took about 30 seconds. I run out and call him, but he listens about as well as a toddler. I run back inside to get my keys since he likes to go in the car. As soon as I step inside, I slip and bust my ass because I just ran through wet grass. Not only do I eat it, I pee myself.
What the heck?
Now I still have to find my keys and make it outside. Another 30 seconds gone. By this time, the lady has gone around the corner. I get in the car and go the 100 feet to him and get his attention, but he ignores me and heads for the older couple standing by at the end of my driveway. I'm finally able to get him in the car and in the house. They are working on training him. I guess you're talking about their owners. They're working on training him. He wasn't trying to attack. He just barks. He's really a sweetheart. We've only had him for about 2.5 months, so lots of habits to break. They were all super nice about it when I said he jumped through the window and how sorry I was. Too long, don't read. Stupid dog jumps out a window and neighbors see ass.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was funny. That was good.
Okay. Do not go bed with no clothes on when your dog's sitting somebody's dog. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that was funny. That was good. Yeah, I mean, there's so much in that, like the dog, I mean, jumping out the window. 2, once again, who sleeps with their socks on? That's just
me.
Do you really?
My feet are always freezing.
Yeah. Anyways, and then, you know, falling, busting your tail, you know, trying to, because your feet are wet.
I like how she comes in, slips and
pees herself.
Pees herself.
Yeah.
Though.
Poor lady. And then one of the other funny ones, I was going to say, I can't tell you how many times over the year people have told me stories about like their dogs getting out and running off, and the only way they can get them back is by getting in the car. So like they have to drive up to him, open the door, and be like, "You want to go for a ride?" You know, and like yelling like "You want to go?" You know, things like that to get the dog to like jump in the car. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times that's happened. I can't. Yeah, it's been. So I get it. I understand. I get it. Fortunately, the dog was nice and didn't attack any other dogs or whatnot. I have this funny training story. One time I was training this dog here in town, huge like pit bull thing, super sweet guy. And anyways, it was his first lesson, and I walked in and I had some like stuff in my hands or whatnot. I'm, you know, saying hey to the family. I'd already met him at the appointment or whatnot, but I'm saying hey to the family. And anyways, I'm like, oh, I have to go out to my truck to go get this thing real quick. And the dog, one of his big problems was bolting out the door and running away, right? So I go out to my truck and I open the door and close it. Now they had a glass screen door and a big wooden door or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think much of it. I just kind of pull the wooden door behind me. It's open, maybe a foot or so. And then I close the glass door behind me. And I guess I just thought it was latched, whatever. So I walk out. Anyways, the dog follows me out. And so now I'm like, oh man, that sucks. And I'm already at my truck at this point. So he runs up to me by my truck and he's sniffing this light pole. And I'm like, well, I'll just grab him real quick. And because he's sniffing something, it seems like a good smell. So I reach down to grab him, takes off. And now they live in a cove. So he runs like around the cove or whatnot. And then I'm like, oh my God. And I can't remember the exact, I don't know if they came outside and they were chasing him with me or what happened. But anyways, so now I'm worried like he's running away. And like, so I'm chasing him down the street, like not smart, but I'm like, and so I'm trying all my tricks, right? I'm like, raising my voice real high and I'm like making all my crazy dog trainer noises to like get him to like want to come to me and stuff. And then I finally switch over to like angry trainer man. And I'm like yelling like real firm tone. I'm like, come here, and like maybe he'll be like, oh man, he's being serious. I need to get over to him, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing's working. So he runs down the street, bends the corner, craps in somebody's monkey grass. Don't have a bag. And so,
well, I never.
And so then I'm like, I can catch him while he's pooping. I'm like, right, about to get him. Gets done pooping, takes off again. And so then he turns the other corner. And now this street, and I know this neighborhood pretty well because I grew up with a friend in this neighborhood. So he's running down the street now, and this street intersects with like a main 2-lane road or whatnot with like, and it's through a neighborhood, but it's still like a big three-way for traffic and stuff. And it's a pretty long road, but I can see, the end of the street and he's running that way. And so I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Cause I'm worried he's going to get in the street and like get hit by a car, like right in front of him. And it's lesson one, like that's not a great look. Right. And I don't want this dog getting hurt. And so anyways, I'm like chasing him. Anyways, fortunately for me, his owner pulls up around the corner in this truck and the dog opens the door, dog jumps right in, takes him home. I walk back, the walk of shame because I was just chasing this crazy dog down the street. So I walk back to their house. The neighbor who's already pooped in the monkey grass is outside. And so I'm like, hey man, I just want to say I'm really sorry about that. I'm training the dog. Hadn't actually started training yet, but I'll come back and pick up the poop or whatnot. Let me go grab a bag. He's like, don't worry about it. You can't see it. It's in the monkey grass. And I was like, all right, great. So anyways, walk back, do the lesson. But yeah, that's the story. Crazy.
My God. It sounds like a scene from Benny Hill.
Pretty much, yeah.
Where you're chasing the dog.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Anyways, funny enough, though, that dog ended up by like the end of the program, like
one of your best students.
I don't know, best students, but he did really good. I mean, you could walk him in the neighborhood off leash and like walk out with him off leash outside of the house, and he's not taking off, and they were walking him off leash and stuff like that. I mean, it was ended up being a really great thing by the time they graduated. So
nice.
Anyways, that's it. Story over.
There
Third question.
Cool.
Question 3.
Okay. Question 3. Can dogs learn to heel on both sides, or should it just be the one? My husband and I prefer different sides, but will it confuse our dog?
I mean, yeah, you can definitely train dogs to like walk on different sides and stuff. Like, yeah, that's no problem. I'd say maybe just do like different words and I mean, I think in the beginning phase it's helpful like to stick with like one side or whatnot, but like over time, if you want to walk them on different sides or whatnot, or like if you're you have them and you're on the left side and your husband has them, he's on the right side or whatnot. I think the dog could probably fall in line with that pretty easy. Maybe try different words, so like heel is left side and walk is the right side or whatnot. They can also have like different commands on the same side. Like I had a friend in dog training school, and his dog he trained in some other language or whatnot, but like he had this formal heel word where it was like a focus heel where the dog's like looking up at him while he's walking, and that was a special word. And then his regular just like walk next to me, but you don't have to be looking me in the eyes while you're walking, was walk. That was his command for that. Was like was just walk. And then the dog just walked, next to him. So you can do all sorts of different stuff. But overall, I would say, maybe stick with one side in training, or one person, does one side, maybe try different words or something like that. But overall, I think the dog can probably get that.
I would have thought they would have adapted to it because they just get used to who does what, don't they?
Yeah. One question that, I could kind of stem from this would be, lot of people ask us, like, what's the right side to walk your dog on,
Yeah,
or the correct
that's
side to walk your dog on,
Yeah.
and I think it's really just preference. You know, like, yeah, it's just preference. Honestly, there's no right or wrong answer, so to speak. It's just, do you want your dog on your left side or your right side? You know, when I first started training dogs, I was more training with like protection, like military, not military, but protection and police dogs.
Yeah.
Anyways, those guys always did like, dog is on your like weaker side, or like your non-gun side or whatnot. Most people, I guess, carry their guns on the right side.
Yeah.
So the dog would naturally be on your left side. So me, as trained to walk on the left, it was actually weird for me training dogs to walk on the right side. You know, when I first started working for clients, because I always did the left, but then I was like, I just kind of thought about one day, I'm like, you know, clients would be like, I think I like walking on the right side. I'm like, but I'd make them do the left, and I'm like, come to think of it, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't, like, you can walk. And so anyways, it was weird at first. It's something getting used to, but then, I mean, most clients want to walk their dog on the right side. So I just,
when you're going out to a new client, then would you ask them?
Yeah, we always ask.
You do?
Yeah, what side do you want your dog to heel on?
Gotcha.
Because it really is just preference. You can pick.
Yeah.
There's maybe an argument for, like, if you're on a busy street, you know, and you're walking on the traffic side, you know, you want your dog on the left side.
Yeah.
And then, so that way they're on the inside or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then you walk down the street the opposite way on the traffic side, you know, so your dog's always on the left side, or vice versa. If you're on the right side, you're going with traffic, and then they go, I mean, you could pick however you wanted to do it. Yeah. I don't think there's necessarily a rhyme or reason to it, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, I walk Sully left. Yeah. Only out of necessity, though, because I do my hand controls from the right side.
So. No, that makes sense. Cool. Good podcast.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Some good spinoff stuff, too.
Yeah.
Those questions, yeah.
Yeah, a lot to unpick there.
Yep. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for the questions. Yeah. If y'all want to ask a question, once again, you can email Sally at sally@wonderdogtraining.com. Yeah. That info is below. You can request a topic for a dog talk episode, whatever you prefer. So anyways, that's that. If you guys would subscribe to the show, like the show, follow the show. If you're watching on a platform where you can like the episode, like it, that'd be helpful too.
Absolutely.
And then, just share it with your friends and family. Like I said, if you know anybody that has dogs that are struggling with these problems that we talked about today, or needs help with anything, or you got value out of it, you thought it was funny, whatever it is, just share it if you don't mind. It'd be awesome. Just because, like I said, that really helps us out and boosts the algorithm up and stuff.
We want to reach as many people as we can.
Yeah, our goal is to help as many people as possible. Put out good quality dog training info, at no cost. So, anyways, with that being said, guys, if y'all enjoy the show, once again, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I think that's pretty much it for today.
It is.
All right. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.